Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. My name is Zimmer Solanki, and it's an absolute pleasure to be joining each and every one of you again on another episode this morning. And if you haven't done so already, go and grab your cuppa, your tea, your cup of coffee, whatever it might be, because we're about to jump into today's episode. Today, kicking on from yesterday's episode, though, we spoke about mapping out our journey. Now, amazing news. The Australian borders, well, for most states and territories, have opened up to our international friends and family. And what epic news is that? But what we spoke about in yesterday's episode was the need to plan out our journey, but to also understand the journey that we're on. And now today, what I really wanted to talk about was, well, before we even start the journey or before we even go into it, well, we need to fill our tank. We need to fill the car with gas or power it with electricity now that we're moving into the world of EVs. The plane needs to get refueled. Whatever it might look like for our journey, we need to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. Also for ourselves, but we also need to hit refueling stations along the way. We know that if we're doing a road trip, we need to stop, we need to have brakes, we need to fill the car up. And so, what I wanted to do today, and hey, Heather, good morning. Thanks for reaching out, Heather. Great to see you. So, what I wanted to chat today was talking a little bit about how we're refueling our own tanks. What we're doing along our own healthpreneurial journey to refill our tanks, not only just along each stop along the way, but even to start the trip itself. Well, what's the quality of fuel that we're putting in? We know that we go to the Bowser and we have a different selection of fuels that we can pump and fill up our tanks at. But what's the quality of your fuel look like? What's the quality that fills up your tank? Or are you just siphoning out fuel out of your tank and pouring it into somebody else's car? And we see that all along the time, when we're, I guess, on our journey and we see maybe a car broken down. Are we siphoning out gas out of our tank and pouring it into somebody else's, somebody that might need help, somebody that might have run out of their own gas? But what if we plan out a certain interval and we know that between our stops, we need, say, 500 kilometers worth of fuel to take us to our next stop. But along each 100 kilometers, we come across somebody else that needs a little bit of gas, a little bit of gas, a little bit of gas. Are we going to actually have enough fuel to take us along that journey? Are we going to have enough fuel to get us to our destination? Because we keep emptying out stuff out of our own tank, but we're not refilling it as well. And I know, speaking in the health space right now, naturally, a lot of us are altruistic, meaning that we love to give, give, and give. And what I'm seeing so much lately, particularly with so many changes happening now, and us trying to keep on top of it all, in the health world, we're navigating the COVID management programs. Now we're starting to enter into the cooler months, and soon it's going to be winter and those sorts of seasons as well. At what point in time, or what are we doing now to fill up our own tank to ensure that whatever we're doing is not just about siphoning the fuel out of our tank to all those people along the way at every 100 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 100 kilometers without refueling ourselves? And so what I wanted to ask you today is, how are you refueling yourself? Along your own journey, along your healthpreneurial journey, how are you refueling yourself? What are you doing to put fuel back into your tank? Or are you along your journey and you've mapped out, okay, well, I've got 500 kilometers worth of fuel, but wait a minute, there's somebody at the 100-kilometer mark. I need to give them some fuel. There's somebody at the 200-kilometer mark. I need to give them some fuel. All of a sudden, we're halfway through our journey. We've got no fuel left because we've given it all away and we can't make our destination. And as a result of that, well, then what's the impacts or what's the consequences of that along your own healthpreneurial journey? If you yourself aren't refilling your fuel tank and just giving it all away, what are the consequences of that? Well, it's pretty simple. We're not going to reach our destination. We're going to break down on the side of the road, and we're now going to need somebody else to stop by and give us some of their fuel. But as a healthpreneur, what are the consequences of that? We then can't look after our customers, consumers, and patients if we're burnt out, if we're stuck on the side of the road. we're burnt out. We might not want to keep going on because we're so frustrated then. We're so frustrated that we're broken down. And now we've wasted all of this time, energy, and effort trying to recover from that. You know, in worst case scenario is that we might not actually want to keep going. We might just give up and just go, you know what? It's too hard to get to that destination. Everybody keeps standing in my way, wanting my help. I'm just going to turn around and go back home. I'll get my fuel. Thank you so much, and turn around and go back home. And so what are the consequences for that for your own healthpreneurial journey and for your patients, customers, and consumers? And the next step on this is, well, and we're going to explore this tomorrow, but what's the quality of fuel that you're filling your tank with? What is the actual quality of fuel that you're filling your tank with? You know, there's no point me putting out my hand and I've hit halfway to my destination. I've run out of fuel on the side of the road and I need to refill my tank, but I'm running petrol and all the cars passing by are diesel or EVs, whatever it might be. They can't help me. They can't help me. And yet I gave away all my petrol to all those other people along the way. And so what's the quality and what type of fuel are you actually looking for? What type of fuel is going to serve you a purpose to help you perform and succeed along your own healthpreneurial journey? So we're going to jump into a little bit more of that tomorrow as to how we can navigate around the quality of fuel that we use along our journey. But for me today, that's it from me today. And if you are still watching, and if you are looking to jump into a like-minded community as well that values health and these sorts of discussions, well, we jump into a discussion exclusively in the Limitless Network every single Friday. So that's a group of like-minded people. So jump into that. And that's it from me today. Stay safe, stay well, and enjoy this amazing journey that you're on. But make sure that you're refueling your tank along the way, but filling it up with really good quality fuel at the start as well, and planning out how much energy and fuel you're going to need to make sure you get to your destination. So that's it from me today. Stay safe, stay well. I look forward to reading your comments and your takeaways in the comment section below. But until tomorrow, have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.